Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about restoration. And so what I want to talk about is mainly going to be, we have a customer that has sent us some wheels. As you can tell, we've got some stance wheels here. And so of course they didn't quite come out exactly the way that they wanted. So they boxed them up, shipped them to us, and hopefully we can make them look 100% better than what they are. So we have pretty much just cut open the box here. Let's take a look at it and let's see what we got here. So we've got, of course, the wheel right here. Now I've seen pictures of these on the email, but this is actually my first time to see them in real life. And so a couple of things to definitely take note of. The clear coat can definitely be better. Let me pull these out here so we can kind of just take a look at it. So looks like on something like this, I know the customer had told us that apparently whenever they were getting mounted, they had gotten hit, and so whoever was mounting them, I guess, didn't realize the coating or something, I don't know, but it does look like they did get hit right there, so of course we're definitely going to have to fix that. Other thing is that we're going to be going back and redoing this entire thing pretty much identical to the way that it is. And so in this video, kind of what we want to do is just show you guys what all it takes to pretty much restore this to hopefully a little bit better coating, as well as get it looking a lot better. And so I kind of want to take a couple of minutes here and just kind of go over like what we're actually looking at here, and you know, of course, what we're hopefully going to fix. And so of course we've got the inner barrel in the back. Just real quick, it's definitely not glossy, like super glossy. I know it's hard to tell, but there is actually tons of overspray on it, and so if you scratch it like that, you can actually feel it. It's actually really rough. You can probably hear it just as I run my hands across it. So that's definitely the first thing that I'm seeing. So second thing is having this up. We'll set this like this, and I'll kind of come around here. So the second thing in looking at this is that, you know, we've got, of course, one spot right here. I don't know if that was actually from the company that was trying to put on the wheels, or if that's how it was actually given to him. I'm not 100% sure. It looks like that might have been how it was given to him, because it does look like the clear is actually over it. Overall, from looking at this wheel, I'm sure we'll kind of show you guys as well, but the clear coat on this is definitely not, it's not very glossy. I can definitely tell you that. You've got some good gloss areas right in here, but you definitely have some very bad dry spray going on in here, so definitely we're going to, of course, fix a lot of that. From looking at this as well, you can look into here, and it looks like somehow, some way, I don't know why 100%, but it looks like they try to tape it off, and maybe done it a couple of times, but you can definitely see a line going right through here, right through here. I don't know 100% why the line is still there, but you know, hopefully whenever we get everything fixed up and finished, it shouldn't have that line there, and so it should just be a nice smooth transition from the carbon down into the black, and then of course the black down on the back side. If I had to guess, and again this is purely a guess, but if I had to guess, I'm probably going to say that it may have been clear coated in 2 times. Maybe not, I'm not 100% sure, but they may have done the back wheel, the inner wheel, separately from the outer wheel, which is fine. We've done that before, but definitely overall, I definitely would have loved to have seen the clear coat a little bit more glossy, a little bit more shiny. A lot of the times whenever you use really cheap clears, you will see that. And so, you know, having a good quality clear and also a very durable clear, that's definitely something that you want. Looking at this again, you know, the other thing that kind of really stands out to me is that this is actually 2 separate carbons. And so, looking at this, you've got a carbon weave all in through here. That's one way, and then you look at here and it's a totally different weave, it's totally different way that it looks and everything. And so you know, that definitely kind of throws me off as well, because in looking at this, The carbon lines up pretty well from what I can tell. Again, it's not perfect, but it does look like it lines up fairly well. But the weave and the way that the carbon is, it's definitely different. So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna have all one carbon, all one dip, and then of course we'll come back and then well, that's already flaking off there. So that's not a good sign. That's actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty deep. So it does look like that they have definitely tried to paint this and redo this a couple of times. So pretty much for us, the biggest plan of attack on this is going to be strip this thing completely down to bare metal and then start over fresh, especially on any job that you're doing, whether it be from us or if you're trying to do it yourself or anything like that. You definitely want to start from scratch. You don't want to have anybody else's problems or coating or anything like that that's underneath it, because of course if you do, then you're only just putting a band-aid on it and you're not actually fixing the main problem and getting a very good adhesion for the wheels and for the coating that you're putting on there. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this video. It is going to be a little bit more lengthy video, so I'm sorry about that ahead of time, but I think all in all, I think you guys are really going to enjoy seeing how this comes out from the way that it looks right here to hopefully the way that it looks whenever we're putting it back in the box and it is 100% ready to go. And it should definitely look a lot better, a lot more gloss. It should have a lot more shine to it, and of course have a lot more durability overall. So let's go ahead. We're gonna unpack the rest of the wheels. We're gonna get a take on them, take a look at them, see how they look, see what all we need to do, and then we'll throw them in the blaster and pretty much get started on removing all the coating, get it back down to bare metal, and start from scratch again. So let's get started. So we didn't even realize this until later, but stance is actually stamped into the wheel. And so if you take a look at that, you can barely just see that. So it kind of tells me that there is definitely quite a bit of coating that is on this. Normally you should be able to read that. I don't know that we're going to be able to save that, but I hope that we are. I'm hoping that it's just a lot of pretty much just filling and filling and filling that we're able to actually save that. So of course we're not going to know until we get it all blasted off, but hopefully we should be able to at least read that a lot better. But we don't know until we get it all blasted off, but definitely I didn't even catch that until I was looking at this a little bit more. So looking at this, of course, we do have a couple of runs right here. Now I'm not gonna lie, you know, if we had something like this right here, I probably wouldn't fix it either, just because it's inside the wheel. You're not ever going to see it. It's not going to be something that's you know, something that is going to be seen at all. So something like this I'm not overly concerned about at all. Even there's a couple of runs even right over in here, so again, not too worried about that. But definitely if it was on this outside, which there actually was a few slight sags in the outer barrel that we did have, that we did notice a couple of runs on. Not really a huge deal, but definitely wanted to try to minimize that as much as possible, so then that way of course the customer gets as smooth and as slick of a finish as possible. You know, for us, hopefully we're going to be able to spray that out and then not have any. If we do, then of course we're going to buff them out, sand them out, polish everything out to where it's pretty much not even noticeable whatsoever. But again, on something like this, I would probably do the same thing and just leave it. It's not ever going to be seen. So on something like that, not a big deal at all. So I know you can't feel this, but this line right here, you can definitely feel a big lip right through here on where they transition from the paint and the clear and the dip on this to what was already there with that existing already. So definitely you can feel a pretty decent transition line, and it looks like they've done it a couple of times, because we have one line that's right here. And so we have one line right there, then we also have one line right there. So you can feel a little bit right there, and then you can also feel another little bit, which is a much larger line right here. So you can definitely tell a big difference between here to there to there. All right, so we've got most of it all blasted, and of course wanted to show you guys a quick little thing. So I don't know who did this, doesn't really matter, but just kind of wanted to kind of point this out to you. So like you can see, we've got these big old chunks of pretty much clear coat that is just literally just flaking right off. And so like you can see that this is literally just peeling right off. And so the thing of it is that this underneath it, from what I can tell, seems to be the original powder coat, which is great. But the problem is that it wasn't prepped right. And so I can tell that by literally this right here. We can blow that off and you can clearly see right in here, whenever it is glossy just like that, there is no scuff marks, no anything. And so that's the whole reason why that this wheel is literally peeling off in sections just like that. So whoever did this wheel, they did not pretty much prep the back of it the way that it should have, because if it would have been prepped right, it would have never actually just peeled off just like this right here. I mean, it's literally just like pulling off tape all the way around the wheel, and I mean, it's just coming off in sheets like that. So definitely not the way that it should have been prepped, but of course we wanted to shoot a quick little video and show you guys what we were running into whenever we were blasting it off. So you know, hopefully you can see that. I'll also show it a little bit here in just a minute, but also too, you can kind of see we've got most of this wheel completely off. We've still got a little bit left on these edges down here, but this was definitely really thick on there. So it looks like they may have tried to do it a couple of times or something like that. Not 100% sure, but you could definitely tell it took a while to get all of this completely blasted off and back down to bare substrate, but we're almost there. The spokes and everything are looking really good. They're nice and smooth still, so that's really good. That's what we wanted to see. And so we're gonna keep on going. The good thing about it is that we can actually see stance now. I know that whenever we first started, that was definitely something that you couldn't see, but now we can actually clearly see that. So there was definitely a lot of coating that was on this wheel that probably should not have been on the wheel. So we're going to keep on going, we're going to keep on blasting and show you guys the end result of after it's blasted. But we thought you guys would like to see that, you know, if it's coming off in sheets just like this right here, you can definitely tell there was pretty much no prep work on the back side of that. So stay tuned, let's see what else we got. Alright, so we've got everything all painted, and of course we've got it all masked up, painted with the two-tone like that. So we've got everything exactly the way that we need it. So little background of what we've done. So we've got the silver metallic all along the front face of it, coming all the way out to the front of the spokes, just like what we had talked about right through here. And then of course we have our charcoal metallic all down in here, all around. And then of course the other thing that we've done as well, just to kind of help out, is we went ahead and we've painted the inside of the barrel already black. And so now that we've already got it painted black, we went ahead and we taped up all of this inside down inside here. So then that way it helps prevent any of the dip coming from here going on to this right here, and then of course getting down onto the black, because of course we don't want that. So now that we've got everything ready to go, now all we need to do is cut the film and lay it in the water, dip the wheel, and then we're pretty much ready to go. So let's go ahead, let's get the film, we'll get it laid out, get the sizing that we need for it, and then of course get to dipping. So let's get started. So with the film right here, what we've got is I've gave myself probably about a good 3 to 4 inches on this side, and I'm probably going to do the same just on this side, just to make sure that I have more than enough. Now, again, you don't have to give yourself that much because we're going to be going in actually this way with the film. So of course, whenever we pick it up, we're going to spin it around. But normally on the edges, like right here, usually a couple of inches is really all you need. In this case, just to be sure, because I don't want to do it again, I'm going to go about 3 to 4 inches on each side, just to make sure that I have plenty of room for excess, or if I need to move one way or another, then of course I can do that. So we're going to go ahead and get it cut, and then get it laid on the water and go from there. So because this is so big and it is very hot out here, and we want to make sure that we get these dialed in and set exactly the way that we want it, we're actually going to be using the spray arm to spray everything, so that way we get everything consistent, even, and it's gonna work out a lot better instead of having to hand spray each time, each pass, all the way through. So first time I think we've really videoed this, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy seeing this thing work for right now. Looks good. Everything's glassed out, everything's smooth. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and grab the wheel and dip it. Alright, so we've got the wheel dipped, and so this is of course one of the 4, but overall I think it turned out really good. So we do have a couple of little touch-up spots, and you can kind of see them. We're going to touch up a little bit in here, a little bit right there. Inevitably, there's no way around that the carbon is going to blow out and it's going to trap an air pocket. There's no way around that because of the way that this is shaped right here, right there, things like that. There's just no way around it. So of course we're going to come back in, do a little bit of airbrushing, do a little bit of touch up, and then of course we're going to take and clear the wheel like it is. And so the reason that we're going to do that is 2 things. Number one, we're going to come back after we clear the wheel, we're going to sand it back down, and then we're going to lay down our carbon, or I'm sorry, our candy over just this center section right here. But by doing it with the clear already on there first, it makes it to where it's a lot easier to take and tape off all of these lines that we have to tape off through these spokes right here. And so then as we can tape them off, we're not taping directly over the carbon that we've already dipped. We're taping over the clear that's already on there, and it's bonded really well to the paint, to the dip, so everything is pretty much locked in. Then whenever we spray our candy, we'll spray our candy, then we'll come back in, spray the clear coat again, and then pretty much we should have a finished wheel. Now, the one thing I know that I'd said before was, and y'all probably saw it on the video, there was a black grayed out area, blacked out area all in through these areas right down through here. So I have to say, I actually dipped this and it turned out a lot better than what I was expecting. And so we might be able to get by with just doing the whole thing in carbon fiber and not actually having to black out any of these areas right here. Now we're going to look at this a little bit more just to double check and make sure, but I was actually very impressed with how the carbon did come out on these little pockets right here, because inevitably you are going to get a little bit of trapped air in some of those recessed areas, but we got just a very, very minor amount that I believe that we can touch up. So that's definitely going to be really good. And then of course the customer's going to have a full carbon wheel all the way around, which I think that he's going to like. But we're going to see what happens with it. So let's go ahead, let's get some touch-ups on these. We'll get these all touched up, get them ready to go, fix these little areas that I was showing you right there, and of course get it cleared, and then get it candied, clear it again, and then that should be a completely finished wheel and should look a lot better than the way that they came whenever they first got here. So let's go ahead and get started with it again. All right, so we've got everything all finished up and it came out looking amazing. Definitely a lot better than the way that it came out before whenever we first saw them. And I don't know if you guys remember or not, but I'm sure we'll post a clip of what they looked like before versus what they look like now, so that way you can kind of see the difference in them. But these things definitely came out a lot better. So of course we went through, we've got all of the clear on it, and everything looks 100% better now. So pretty much we've got all of the candy all in through here. And then the one thing that we was able to do is that we was actually able to salvage the carbon to where the carbon is all one dip all the way across the entire wheel. And then also the carbon came out good enough that we were able to pretty much have it to where it even is down inside here all the way through, so we didn't have to come back in and black in a lot of those areas like they did before whenever we first saw the wheel. Now again, I was a little skeptical. I didn't know if we was gonna have to do that or not, but the dip came out good, and so we was able to touch up just a few little bitty spots and areas that did blow out. Inevitably, we knew that was gonna happen, but we was able to touch it up, we was able to fix it, and of course, we were able to get it all candy, clear coated, and ready to go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. Would love to hear from you on anything Hydrographics related, as well as let me know how you think the wheel came out. And you know, if you would have done anything differently, or even just to give a shout out to us, we'd love to hear from you on that as well. Also, if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks on anything Hydrographics related. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.